Okay, we're on lesson 5. I hope you've had a great day and I hope this lesson is helpful. Again, all of these have the parts that are going to be on the first certificate exam. So each one of these practices should help you be familiar with the words that you use combined with other words. And we're going to start out with page 46, part 2. And there's extra words in the sentence, so I'll just read them correctly and you can correct them. Number 1, I asked the assistant if I could see the manager. Number 2, my friend suggested that I should try the trousers on. Number 3 is correct. The salesman said the jeans I had ordered would be in the shop the next day. Number 4, Paul explained that he had bought his coat the previous day. Number 5, Sandra asked me where I usually bought my shoes from. Number 6, Mrs. Brown told her daughter to save her money. Number 7 is correct. Sam complained that the shoes were too tight. And then number 8, the customer insisted he wanted his money back. Number 3, the transformations, we're going to go straight through them. Number 1, the sweater shrank when I washed it, said the customer. The customer complained the sweater had shrunk when he washed it. Number 2, can I have a refund, asked John. John asked whether he could have a refund. Number 3, does the shop open on Sundays? Asked John. John inquired if the shop opened on Sundays. Number 4. Why don't you complain, Peter? Alan said. Alan suggested that Peter should complain. Number 6. I haven't touched anything, said Rebecca. Rebecca protested that she hadn't touched anything. Number 7. When did you buy your shoes? The manager asked Susan. The manager asked Susan when she had bought her shoes. Number 8. I'm going to pay for the coffee, Georgia said. Georgia insisted that he was going to pay for the coffee. Number 9. I must buy a new computer, Daniel said to Rachel. Daniel told Rachel that he needed to buy a new computer. And then 10, would you like to try the jacket on? The assistant asked. The assistant asked me if I wanted to try the jacket on. Okay, that's the end of that page. Let's go on to our reading. And this one is called The Space Saver. William Morris, a famous English designer who was influential towards the end of the 19th century, once wrote, "Have nothing in your houses that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful." A century later, thanks to the so-called Consumer Society, many people's homes in Britain are so jammed full of things that it is difficult for us to make good use of our available living space. If I look around my own house, for example, and apply William Morris's idea as seriously as I would like to, the task of deciding what to get rid of and what to keep seems too big to tackle alone. There are rooms you can't get into because of all the junk piled behind the door. The answer, I have discovered, is to call in an expert. Anya Ladakh makes her living by going into people's houses and helping them fill plastic bags with unwanted items, which they then give away or sell in second-hand shops. For a consultation fee of £120, she will spend 3 hours helping you to assess the problem and draw up an action plan. In this way, she helps you to distinguish between your most treasured possessions and the useless clutter that just seems to build up. Most of her clients are either busy professional people who never get around to tidying up, or people setting themselves up to work from home who suddenly find they need more space. Often people set off in the morning dressed immaculately, behave extremely efficiently in their work, but return to a chaotic house, says Anya. It seems strange, but they just don't bring the work mentality home with them. But what makes people want to expose their private chaos to a complete stranger, let alone take her advice? It can be much easier for someone outside the family to come in and give an impartial view of the problem, says Anya. As an outsider, I act as a fresh pair of eyes, helping them to focus on the situation. Sometimes one visit will be sufficient to diagnose the problem and deal with it, but if the clutter has spread through the house and into sheds and garages, return visits may be needed to check on progress. For some clients, it might just be a matter of clearing a few shelves or installing some new ones. For others, it may mean displaying a few cherished photographs in a frame rather than keeping every one they ever took in large albums that rarely come out of the cupboard. Cuddly toys from childhood days can be the most delicate problem, regardless of the client's age, as Anya explained. There was one person I told recently, "Look, that panda has served you well, but it has been under the bed for the last 10 years. Give it to someone who will love it." Generally, however, Anya finds that gentle persuasion and encouragement work better than bullying. I point out how stressful clutter is, she says. It wastes your time and can make you bad-tempered when you can't find things. Some people's social lives become affected. They are so ashamed of the mess that they stop inviting others round to their homes. Her experience has taught her that clutter is not just a logical question, but an emotional one, an indication perhaps that someone is hanging on to the past. It can be painful to let go of material possessions, however worthless they may be, Anya observes, especially if people have been brought up by parents who lived through a less materialistic age, when it was normal to hang on to things in case they came in handy. Nowadays, most of us simply have too many possessions. Okay, now let's answer our questions. What is the writer's opinion of William Morris's idea? Well, she says that it's something she would like to try. B. Number 2, what service does Anya provide? A. She helps people make decisions. What things to keep, what things to get rid of. Number 3, what surprises Anya about most of the people she works for? Well, she mentions that C, they are efficient in other ways. They go off to work, they're efficient, organized at work, but when they come home, their house is full of clutter. Number 4, what does them in line 38 refer to? And it's B, Anya's clients. It seems strange, but they just don't bring the work mentality home with them, talking about her clients. Number 5, why may Anya need to see some clients more than once? The correct letter is D, when there is a great deal of work to be done. And then number 6, bullying in line 66 means putting people under pressure, trying to force them to get rid. She says it is gentle persuasion and encouragement work better than bullying. Okay, that was an interesting article. Makes me want to work on getting my house less cluttered. Okay, on to page 46. And in this one, we're going to start with part 2, extra word, and I'll just read the sentences, leaving out the extra words. Number 1, I asked the assistant. You know what? We already did this one. We did it in last lesson. So I think that I made a mistake, and this was in the last lesson, so we're not going to do this one. All right. Go on to page 41. And we're going to do part 3, transformations, on page 41. Number 1, we couldn't park outside the shop. We weren't able to park outside the shop. Number 2, they wouldn't let us take a car for a test drive. We weren't allowed to take a car for a test drive. Number 3, it wasn't necessary to pay for the goods immediately, so we didn't. We didn't need to pay for the goods immediately, so we didn't. Number 4, we needed 3 table lamps, but I only succeeded in finding 2. We needed 3 table lamps, but I only managed to find 2. Number 5, it wasn't necessary to remind her. She hadn't forgotten. I needn't have reminded her. She hadn't forgotten. Number 6, soon it will be possible to buy everything over the internet. Soon we will be able to buy everything over the internet. 7, my father told me not to waste my money. My father told me I must not waste my money. 8, Jim has to wear glasses to drive. Jim cannot drive without wearing his glasses. 9, you're not allowed to leave bicycles here. You may not leave bicycles here. And then 10, it was necessary to go to Germany to get our new car. We had to go to Germany to get our new car. All right, shopping in the future. Part 4, error correction. I'm just going to read the correct form, and the words that get crossed off should go in the gaps at the beginning of the line. In 10 years' time, customers will be able to shop in ways that we can't possibly imagine now. Technology is revolutionizing the whole process of shopping. Years ago, people didn't go to the shops every day because they could have things delivered to their homes. Home delivery may quite possibly become a part of modern life too. In fact, the process is happening already. Nowadays, we can all buy things over the internet. We don't even need to leave our armchairs. I wonder if you can imagine what an intelligent kitchen will be like in the future. It will probably contain a robot or electronic housekeeper. It may even contain an intelligent rubbish bin. This rubbish bin may be able to detect when you throw away your last tin of tomatoes. It can then tell the robot housekeeper to buy more tins of tomatoes. Soon you won't need to make out a list before you go shopping. Your shopping trolley will be able to speak to you while you are walking around the shop. All you will have to do is insert your personal smart card into the handle of your trolley. The trolley will tell you what you should buy. Who knows if that's how it's going to be in the future. Okay. And we'll finish with page 42, word formation. Use the correct form of the word in capitals at the end of each sentence to fill the gap. Number 1, Tom is an interior designer and he finds his work quite stressful. Number 2, Katie keeps all her valuable possessions under her bed. Number 3, my friend bought a valuable ring, but the things I bought were relatively inexpensive. Number 4, you can wear jeans for the dinner tonight. It will be very informal. Number 5, there were some fantastic paintings on sale in the gallery, but I resisted the temptation to buy one. Number 6, I thought very carefully before I decided what color to paint my room. We're going to do part 2, choosing the correct word. 1, I've spent ages choosing furniture for my bedroom. Number 2, my brother leaves his things scattered all over the place. Number 3, I take a lot of care when I buy something new. Number 4, as architects, my parents lead very busy lives. Number 5, I bought a leather sofa rather than a plastic one because I think it will last longer. Number 6, shopping always puts me in a good mood. 7, I think I made a mistake when I painted my bedroom red. 8, I hang my clothes in my bedroom wardrobe. 9, do you think this scarf suits me? 10, I find it hard to cope with the pace of life in this city. And then our last activity for this lesson is phrasal verbs, those complicated words that go together, and so we'll do these activities. Number 1, when you've added up all the money you've spent today, you'll get a shock. Number 2, I'm just going to the fitting room to try on these jeans. Number 3, I saved up all my pocket money so I could buy this computer. Number 4, now I'm home, I'm just going to take off my shoes and put on my slippers. Number 5, I'm going to the disco tonight so that I can show off my new haircut. And more phrasal verbs, part 2. Number 1, I've decided to throw out all my old clothes and buy new ones. Number 2, does this store take credit cards or will I have to make out a check? Number 3, my sister spends ages in the morning trying to work out what to wear. Number 4, we'll have to set out early tomorrow if we want to get to the city by 9 a.m. Number 5, you'll wear out your new shoes if you play football in them. Okay, that's the end of lesson 5, and have a good day.